I just read a great book on the biggest mistakes some of the world's best investors have made, and this is from Warren Buffett, Jack Bogle, the creator of Vanguard, John Paulson, John Maynard Keynes, famous economist. So I'm going to cover the biggest mistakes I see investors making. Number one is going all to cash when the market's either gone down or they get a bad feeling about something. And by far the biggest question I get is, hey, why don't we just put it into cash and wait for things to get better? Well, truth is, things never get better. Over the last couple of years, we had the pandemic wrapping up, and then we've had a war in Russia, war in Ukraine, and then we've had inflation, then we've had higher interest rates, and then we've had banking crisis, and so things just keep on coming at us, and so things are never okay and a great time to invest. And typically, if you cash out, what I've seen is investors, by the time they invest, the market's higher, because the best time to invest when the news is the worst, and you're not going to want to do that. You're going to see the market go down and down and down. And psychologically, it's hard to invest when things are going down. We just don't like to do it. Keeping a diversified portfolio in whatever areas that you feel comfortable in. And here's the thing: if you are thinking about pulling everything out, start with this. Start with moving 10% or 15 or some amount to something guaranteed instead of taking everything out of the market. Take a little bit out, put it aside, and see how things play out. That's gonna, I think, help your risk tolerance. You're gonna feel comfortable that you have some of the money out, and you're gonna let the other money do its thing. Number two is not being diversified or loading up on one area, whether that's oil and gas, whether it's technology, whether it's financials, banks. It's easy to fall in love with an area that you feel really confident in, but that area can break your heart. There's often biases that when you want to invest in an area that, like, in your mind, that they're working against you. So that could be confirmation bias. You just believe in a thing, so you keep on looking for articles that confirm your theory. It could be illusion of control, like, hey, I worked in this area, I know this area better than other people. You might not. There's probably a lot of analysts that are looking at the financials of a company. And so just, you might get lucky and it might do well for a while, but having that diversified portfolio is going to really help you out long term. Number three, living beyond your means. And so the most powerful investor is one that's lifestyle is below their income. There's a gap there. And so what that does is allow you to invest when the market's down. You're not having to pull when things are down, or you only have to pull very much when it's down. It takes the stress off your portfolio, because if you're living beyond your means, you're like, hey, my portfolio needs to make up the difference. It won't. You need to have a plan that's going to be in place there. And so if you're struggling with spending and where you are, there's a great book by Sarah Newcomb called Loaded, and it just talks about your spending habits. And typically, maybe you're struggling with spending. It's not your fault. There's some events that happen in your childhood and how you grew up, and that's kind of that's affected how you are with money. And so just rewiring your brain to be content with where your lifestyle is can really help. Number four, relying on a singular, statistic or theme to make your investment decisions. And so this can go a number of different ways. It's like, hey, if an investment doubles, I'm going to sell it. Or if an investment is down in value, I'm not going to sell it till it gets back to where it is. And so I've seen a number, and I keep on finding new ones. People keep on bringing new ones to me where they've heard something about this way to, and that might be for some portfolio managers or some segments, but for you, I think just keeping a diversified portfolio that meets your risk tolerance, that meets your objectives, is going to be way better off than finding some kind of rule to make your whole future hopes and dreams based on. And number five, comparing yourself to others. There's always someone going to be taller, prettier, skinnier, has more hair, makes more money, spends more money, has more stuff than you. And to compare yourself with someone like that, and Instagram, Facebook, social media is really bad because you just see the highlights of everyone's life. You don't need to do that. And talking to people saying, hey, I made all this money on this stock. Yeah, but they didn't tell you about the other stocks that they lost. And they said that was only like 10% of their portfolio. And I've seen statistics where people, if they're only going to share 94% of their, if the investment's done well, chances are 94% of people would share that statistic. But if an investment hasn't done well, I don't know how many people share that statistic, probably not very much. So don't compare yourselves to others, be your own person, make your own path in life. And I think to be happy in life is to be content with what we have. And so envy breeds unhappiness, whereas contentment breeds satisfaction and enjoyment. hope you like that. Be curious to see if anyone else had any other mistakes that they've seen or they had questions on. As always, I'm happy to be a resource. Have a great day.